Right.
How do I know I had enough faith to receive Christ? Have you ever experienced that kind of doubt or anything like that?
Absolutely. And that's something that kind of that position is something I've replicated in some of my videos. I believe it was not necessarily Copeland himself, but it was Copeland Ministries. And so maybe his daughter or his son-in-law were preaching. And it's the same thing, if you have enough faith for your healing, because, and I know that we'll go into like faith as a container, but it gets to the point where you become responsible for directing the actions of God. God is not sovereign. He does not direct actions. So we have to reach some kind of abstract, obnoxious video game level of faith. Like if we don't reach level 7, then, our cancer isn't going to get healed. And in the same stroke as you were just mentioning, it's like, okay, so I somehow don't have enough faith for something like these faith healers are professing, to where I no longer need glasses. But yet I do have enough faith in order to live eternally and accept something that's far more miraculous. That's a massive, perhaps the biggest miracle that we could consume. But yet I can't get my eyesight fixed, So then you're in this crazy juxtaposition where your faith is constantly contrasting against itself. And when it's doing that, you're grinding metal, your transactions busting apart, and it only ever reproduces a situation where the faith is in a reductive state. It's not increased by you experiencing such a divergence where there's no consistency of faith that we see biblically on how to correctly apply faith, but you're constantly questioning it. And so therefore it's like, okay, well, and I've seen this, and you've seen it too. Okay, well, I don't have enough faith for my healing, perhaps because I'm not speaking in tongues enough. Well, maybe I don't know how to speak in tongues. I'm not saved, God isn't moving in my life. So therefore, maybe I'm so separated from him because of my sin. And it's just endlessly on and on and on. And then it becomes so reliant on your own actions that you're okay, well, maybe I didn't bind enough, and so it's exhausting. So I have experienced that, and it's dismay. And I see it in a lot of people that comment on my content is I'm so dismayed, that I don't even know where I stand with Christ anymore. And the Bible is so clear about that.
Yeah. I tell you, Robin and I have experienced the same kind of comments. How do I know I'm even a Christian? This, and it really can, it really brings tears to your eyes when you think about the weight that comes on a person when they are trapped in this kind of teaching. You mentioned earlier that, that Word of Faith proponents do not believe that God is sovereign. I want to play a clip for you from Creflo Dollar, and I want you to tell me what your thoughts are after we look at it. Okay? All right.
Yes, sir.
The scripture is very clear. God is not in control. Genesis chapter 1 says he gave dominion and authority to you and to me. Man has dominion over all the earth, over every creeping thing in the earth. Verse 26 says, back up there, that's whoever working there, that's smart. And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, over every all of the earth, over every creeping thing. That means over every creep. You are the ones that God has given authority to. You have dominion. You have authority over every demon force. You have dominion. You have authority over every situation, every circumstance, over every storm, over every hurricane. When you have authority, you don't spend time talking to God about your problem. You spend time talking to your problem about what God has already done. Somebody shout, I have authority. I am in control. That blows your mind. That blows your religious mind. Just think about that record player, just playing that needle, just going along with the groove. You're so stuck in that religious belief. It's wrong, but here I am trying to talk you out of it. Some of y'all looking at me like you want to cuss me because you sit up here and I took something that you had on a t-shirt. God is in control. That is not all the way true. He took the controls. He put it into the hands of men. He says, you have now dominion and authority. Whatever you bind on this earth is bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on this earth is loosed in heaven. Whatever you call forth, that's what's going to come forth. I'm waiting on you, and you sitting back there waiting on me. I've already done it. I'm waiting to see how you going to respond to what I've already done.
All right, Danny, let me get your thoughts on that clip.
At first I felt just the weight, and there's so much in there, right? There's so much that there's this machine gun theology where if I can just, and we see this a lot in false teachers today, if I can just blast you with 9, 12, 53 different theologies, even if there's a little bit of truth in there, because a little leaven leavens the whole loaf, then you got nothing. You can't even stand up in defense, especially when you're in a live scenario. But I was watching that, trying to pick up all the things that he's talking about, and I was thinking about when you're a Christian, you kind of you go through this process of sanctification where you try not to cuss, and so my version. My version,
brother.
My strongest version of Christian cussing is I say cheese and biscuits. It's like, cheese and biscuits. So that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, man, that's a lot of cheese and biscuits. But so, this whole idea that God isn't in control and isn't sovereign. I see that a lot from Andrew Womack, and he's one of the biggest proponents that I see that's just wrecked my family.
Yep.